करेंगी। तो इस वक्त जैसे आपने कहा कि प्रधानमंत्री, यूएस प्रेसिडेंट की एडवाइजर और उनकी बेटी इवांका ट्रंप, रक्षा मंत्री निर्मला सीतारमण, गवर्नर और मुख्यमंत्री तेलंगाना के, प्रधानमंत्री के साथ इस वक्त एक वर्चुअल एग्जीबिशन देख रहे हैं, जहां प्रधानमंत्री को जो तमाम लोग हैं वो ये ब्रीफ कर रहे हैं। इस वक्त प्रधानमंत्री गूगल के उस पर मौजूद हैं। क्या आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
जी अमृत, हम ये जानना चाहेंगे आप, क्योंकि आपने भी उस एग्जीबिशन को देखा होगा, एग्जीबिशन का जायजा लिया होगा, क्या खास है इस एग्जीबिशन में?
देखिए, एसेंशियली ये शोकेस कर रही है तमाम डिफरेंट चीजें। एक पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन है जो वर्चुअल एग्जीबिशन की मैं बात करूं, जहां पर इस वक्त प्रधानमंत्री हैं, शोकेस कर रही है जैसे इंडिया इनोवेशन शोकेस। आप जाके टच स्क्रीन हैं उस पर आप जाएं, दबाएं और देखिए कि तमाम क्या क्या आप कर सकते हैं इंडिया में। जैसे इन्वेस्ट इंडिया का प्रोग्राम होगा तो उसके तहत क्या है, मेक इन इंडिया के तहत क्या हो रहा है, स्टार्टअप इंडिया के तहत क्या हो रहा है। एसेंशियली इसका रीजन ये तो अभी प्रधानमंत्री कर रहे हैं, पर ये क्योंकि इसको देख रहे हैं, पर यहाँ पर जो तमाम 1500 डेलीगेट्स आए हैं 150 कंट्रीज से, वो ये सब कर सकते हैं। तो एक बड़ी अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म है भारत के लिए अपने इनोवेशंस, अपनी जो इंडियन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं उनकी एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप को शोकेस करने का, जो एक मकसद भी है इस जीईएस का। भारत सरकार की क्या क्या स्कीम्स हैं, भारत सरकार कैसे एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप को प्रमोट कर रही है, जो न्यू इंडिया की स्टोरी है वो कैसे प्ले आउट हो रही है, इन्वेस्ट इंडिया कैसे प्ले आउट हो रहा है, ताकि जो जीईएस जो समिट है इसके बाद में टैंजिबल बेनिफिट्स रीप किए जा सके।
Amrit, then the focus is then 100% in a way a complete focus on the Indian growth story and Indian entrepreneurial talent in this exhibition, or are there other countries also that feature in some way or the other? Do their innovation stories also feature? And right now we are seeing a light moment, I think, being exchanged. Tell us more about it between PM Modi and Ivanka Trump. I think they are watching the exhibition together and they are exchanging some notes, it seems.
Yes, Ivanka Trump is speaking to Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is standing at a stall called the Innovation Hub. So where he's essentially looking, it's, as I said, it's an audiovisual interactive touch screen where you can actually go and see that how the government's various programs, that how they're promoting entrepreneurship, making the entrepreneurship ecosystem more conducive. And how if the foreign entrepreneurs would like to collaborate with Indian entrepreneurs and grow, jobs, because creation of jobs is one of the key focus areas of this government. So how they can actually go about it, how red tapeism has been cut, how getting licenses has become easier, how doing business has become easier. So that is what the Prime Minister is doing right now.
Amrit, is sky going to be the limit? Because just ahead of her arrival to India, Ivanka Trump did speak to a media outlet, and there she said that there needs to be a lot that needs to be still done when it comes to women empowerment. So are we going to see floodgates of opportunities really open for the empowerment of women, including women entrepreneurship, after this summit, according to you?
Well, that is the idea, Manmohan, that the women, to give a boost to women entrepreneurship, and that's why the theme for this year's the GES Global Entrepreneurship Summit is Women First, Prosperity for All. So more than half of the delegates are women. About 52.5% women are women. Now these are participating here, and these are from all countries. Now what you can see is the Prime Minister walking past the Innovation Hub and moving towards the women entrepreneurs. We can see the advisor to the US President, Ivanka Trump, along with him. Now you can see the Prime Minister speaking to actual entrepreneurs, and they briefing both dignitaries about their stories, how they launched their project, and how they conceived it, what were the challenges they faced, and how they were able to make success stories out of it.
Is this exhibition, Amrit, not just about big enterprises or enterprises who really made it big, but also small and medium enterprises and their creations and their success stories as well?
Oh, absolutely. It's all kinds of enterprises are participating in this, and some 30 out of the 500 projects, 35 projects have been chosen from India, where they will come out and do innovation hub, and they will they'll come out and put out their ideas, showcase their ideas, and will then be funded by investors globally. So that will surely give a boost to their projects. So this has all ranges. I mean, there are mid-sized projects, there are big companies, there are small ideas. I met a lady. She was saying that how she's launched a digital platform about what wave clothes to wear in what weather. So there are simple projects like that as well.
जी अमृत, जब ये इस सम्मेलन का उद्घाटन होगा आपसे कुछ ही देर बाद, और उसके बाद सबसे पहले इवांका ट्रंप अपना संबोधन करेंगी, उसमें क्या कुछ अमेरिका की तरफ से, अमेरिकी प्रतिनिधिमंडल की तरफ से कुछ शेयर किया गया है कि उनकी भाषण में क्या क्या मुख्य बिंदु हो सकते हैं? इवांका
नहीं,
ट्रंप
ऐसा शेयर तो नहीं किया गया, पर एक्सपेक्ट किया जा सकता है कि इवांका ट्रंप अपनी स्टोरी को के अराउंड ये कहे कि देखें, मैं एक यंग वुमन हूँ, मैं एक सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर हूँ, और अगर मैं ये कर सकती हूँ, आप भी ये कर सकते हैं। तो वो एक तरह की आइकॉन बनना की कोशिश होगी। वो अपना वो संदेश होगा उनके जब वो मुखातिब होंगी इस ऑडियंस से, इन डेलीगेट से, तो और उसके बाहर वाइडर थ्रू टेलीविजन और अदर मीडिया ये जाएगा कि अगर विमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स बनना चाहती हैं, और उसमें वो एग्जाम्पल इवांका देंगी अपना। सेकेंडली वो ये भी शो करेंगी कि जी यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स चाहता है कि विमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स ज्यादा हों, और उसको ये पुश देना चाहता है, और उसलिए वो खुद इतनी बड़ी डेलीगेशन लेके इस सम्मेलन में शिरकत करने आई हैं। तो ये एक्सपेक्टेड है कि वो ये बताएं।
Right, Amrit, from the perspective of Ivanka Trump, there are two views that have emerged in the mainstream media. One is that this is a revival on the global scene because one, a national daily today put out a headline that this is the solo debut of Ivanka Trump on the global stage, whereas there is another perspective that she's at the G20 summit in Hamburg, and she's of course been with her father Donald Trump in meetings that Donald Trump has had with the Japanese PM Shinzo Abe or with Chinese President Xi Jinping. So where would you be on that?
Manmohan, could you please repeat your question? I couldn't hear you.
Okay, from the perspective of Ivanka Trump, how should the Global Entrepreneurship Summit be seen?
From the perspective of Ivanka Trump?
Yes.
Well, Ivanka Trump, as she spelled out in her interview, that she is, looking at putting her weight as an entrepreneur and also as the advisor to the U.S. president behind this idea. So she's endorsing the idea of entrepreneurship per se, becoming job creators rather than job seekers, and also because she's also a woman. So the idea of endorsing the idea of women entrepreneurship, that as they say, those societies, those communities prosper whose women prosper. So she's putting her weight behind that idea.
Amrit, in terms of tangible outcomes, what can we expect, say in terms of tie-ups, because there are 400 odd investors and ecosystem supporters and entrepreneurs that have come from the US, an equal number from India, and an equal number worldwide. So in terms of tangible outcomes, what can we expect from the summit?
Tangible outcomes assured would be, the 35 odd Indian innovators, wannabe entrepreneurs who will be showcasing their ideas here, and the investors would be funding them. That is the only tangible that you can expect, because it's not an investment summit. It is a summit, it's an entrepreneurial summit where essentially it's a platform for innovators, entrepreneurs, and investors to sort of interact with each other, to collaborate with each other. So if some deals do get struck, some partnerships do come out, that would be at an individual level, but a short, direct, tangible benefit clearly is the funding of these 35 projects that have been chosen.
Is there a lot, Amrit, that both countries in terms of entrepreneurship can learn from each other? For instance, if you look at the United States, then 40% of the new entrepreneurs there are women, whereas in India, we have a bigger population and around 15% of entrepreneurs in India are women. So are there global best practices that you see being exchanged here at this platform, and one country learning from the other in terms of entrepreneurship?
Oh, absolutely. And, I've been here since morning, and these delegates, these entrepreneurs have been interacting with each other over lunch, or generally, through informally inside the lobby, by the poolside. They've been talking, they talk ideas, they share experiences. Investors are talking to them. So if they find a project interesting, the investor can look at funding that project. So these, investors, innovators, have been talking to and the wannabe entrepreneurs and actual entrepreneurs. They've been doing their experience sharing, and as you've said that the reality for India, for example, is that our number of women entrepreneurs is not very high, and the reason for that is that our ecosystem, given the general gender discrimination that happens, and our ecosystem has not been very conducive. Things are changing. More and more women now want to take risks. More and more women want to come forward. Attitudes of society are slowly changing. The government is trying its bit to promote entrepreneurship, create an ecosystem which is more conducive to entrepreneurship, be it by cutting red tape, be it by giving push to programs like Startup India, Make in India. So there is a step towards making it more conducive. So the kind of interest that one sees being generated here by this conference, not just of the conference venue, but I've been here for the past 3-4 days out in say the Hyderabad city. So there, you were saying that India is essentially, the Indian women are looking forward to launching ventures of their own.
अमृत, खास तौर पर ताज फलकनुमा होटल जो है वहाँ पर डिनर की खास चर्चा है. क्या कुछ उस डिनर में होने वाला है और क्या कुछ खास है उस डिनर की बातें?
देखिए, फलकनुमा जो पैलेस है वो निजाम का पैलेस था और उसको फिर बाद में होटल कन्वर्ट कर दिया गया. वहाँ पर 101 डाइनिंग सीटिंग फैसिलिटी है जहाँ पर जो डिनर है होस्ट किया जा रहा है. तमाम जो डेलीगेट्स हैं जिनमें खास मेहमान इवांका ट्रम्प हैं, तो प्रधानमंत्री तो होस्ट ही कर रहे हैं वो डिनर. उसमें विदेश मंत्री सुषमा स्वराज और जो रक्षा मंत्री निर्मला सीतारमण मौजूद रहेंगी. तो वो निजाम हीरा की डाइनिंग है और वो उस सेटिंग में वो डिनर किया जा रहा है. पर वहाँ पर जो एक्सपेक्ट किया जा रहा है कि प्रधानमंत्री और इवांका ट्रम्प, अभी हालांकि उनकी एक मुलाकात हुई, एक कॉल-ऑन था, पर वहाँ पर जब उस डिनर के दौरान बात करेंगे तो वो एक डिनर डिप्लोमेसी, इकोनॉमिक डिप्लोमेसी तो होगी. तमाम भारत और अमेरिका और कैसे अपने संबंधों को मजबूती दे सकता है, वो पूरा एंटायर गैमेट डिस्कस हो सकता है.
इवांका ट्रम्प ना सिर्फ एक उद्यमी हैं, ना सिर्फ वो डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प की बेटी हैं, बल्कि डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प की सलाहकार भी हैं. ऐसे में इस डिनर के दौरान राष्ट्रपति डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प की तरफ से भी कुछ ना कुछ पैगाम हो सकता है, कुछ ना कुछ शेयर किया जा सकता है इवांका ट्रम्प और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के बीच.
बिल्कुल, और ये हो सकता है वो अपने जो फादर हैं उनकी तरफ से कुछ संदेश लाई हों कि इनको इन एरियाज पर हमको आगे और कोलैबोरेट करना चाहिए. भारत ऑब्वियसली अपने जो इश्यूज रखेगा जिन पर दोनों मुल्क का नजरिया एक नहीं है, जैसे H1B वीजा पर भारत की चिंताएं हैं, अमेरिका का रुख और भारत का रुख बहुत वो नहीं सिमिलर नहीं है, तो बाकी इकोनॉमिक कोऑपरेशन, स्ट्रेटेजिक कोऑपरेशन, सिक्योरिटी कोऑपरेशन, इसमें क्या और कैसे कोऑपरेट किया जा सकता है, तो ये तमाम तरह की बातें हो सकती हैं। और जहां पर इवांका ट्रंप क्योंकि अपने फादर को रिप्रेजेंट करती हैं, तो वो यूएस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का क्या रवैया है, क्या सोच है, और वो पैगाम लेके आई होंगी और प्रधानमंत्री का जो पैगाम होगा वो वापस लेके जाएंगी।
Amrit, besides the dinner diplomacy that may take place at Falaknuma Palace tonight, over the course of the summit, the delegates will also be visiting the Golconda Fort. So are we seeing a lot of culture, art and tradition also being thrown in a way in the summit for all to enjoy and see?
Yeah, Hyderabad is a historic city, so essentially what the government of Telangana is trying to do, this Golconda Fort event is a government of Telangana event, which the chief minister and the governor would be there. They're hosting it for the delegates. So they're trying to give them a cultural experience of Hyderabad by holding a cuisine reception there. There'll be various kinds of Hyderabadi cuisines. So the most famed amongst them, of course, is the Hyderabadi biryani. So to give a cultural experience to the visiting delegates, and also showcase that Hyderabad coexists as a modern city. It is, in fact, one of the big IT hubs. At one point of time, it was said that it could overtake Bangalore as an IT hub. But yes, it is a great IB hub, because the current Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Chandrababu Naidu, when was the Chief Minister of United Andhra Pradesh, did give a boost to it. So I think the KCR government would try to project that, along with saying that it's a modern hub. We could become an IT hub. Hyderabad would want to reap benefits of the GES, the Global Entrepreneurship Summit, happening here in the city of Hyderabad, and also putting its cultural foot forward.
Amrit, the Global Entrepreneurship Summit is being held for the first time in South Asia, and here in South Asia, in Hyderabad. Does this choice of the location also speak volumes about the deepening economic partnership between India and the United States of America? I'm asking you that because the initiative was originally of the United States to have Global Entrepreneurship Summits, and this summit has traveled across continents, and finally here it is in Asia now, and that too in India.
Yes, this is the first summit that's happening in South Asia. So this happening in India shows that how India's keenness, and India and US are the co-hosts of this summit. India's keenness to promote entrepreneurship and create more jobs through it, create more lend a helping hand to the economy, or boost the economy through entrepreneurship. And how it also shows that how the world now looks at India's growth story. And with this entrepreneurship summit taking place here, has arisen a lot of interests amongst the global communities, amongst the investors who might want to come and invest in key areas. The 4 areas they'll be talking about: energy and infrastructure, health sciences, health and life sciences, media and entertainment, and digital economy and financial technology. So in these areas they'll be discussing. So hosting this summit here could lead to much more with entrepreneurs from around the world coming and collaborating with Indian entrepreneurs.
Amrit, do you see India leveraging the full potential of the Global Entrepreneurship Summit, because PM Modi is inaugurating it, and 3 union ministers, Sushma Swaraj, Nirmala Sitharaman, as well as Suresh Prabhu, are participating in it? Nirmala Sitharaman and Suresh Prabhu will also be participating in panel discussions, either as a panelist or as a moderator. Amrit, do you see India fully leveraging the potential that the GES offers, given the kind of top-level participation that we are seeing from the Indian government? Okay, we'll try and go across to Amrit.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Amrit, we can hear you. Continue.
Okay. Yes, India would want to leverage this opportunity, and that's why we've seen the Prime Minister, actually take time out of his busy schedule. He's been One, he's the Prime Minister of the country, and then he's also a political leader. He's been campaigning hard in Gujarat. So to fly down to Hyderabad just for a half a day, where one part he inaugurated the Hyderabad Metro, as well as now he'll be inaugurating the Global Entrepreneurship Summit. And as you said, these three ministers being here. So essentially, India is what the government of India, I'm saying, what the government of India is trying to do is use this event, use this summit to showcase its various schemes that it has brought in to promote entrepreneurship and show to the entrepreneurs, investors around the world that India is committed to promoting entrepreneurship and serious about it. So that is what the government is doing to reap benefits from this summit. The entrepreneurs, of course, at an individual level would want to network with other entrepreneurs, with investors, showcase their ideas, and they, as private citizens or want to entrepreneurs who would want to partner, would be doing. But the government is using this event or summit to, one, showcase its success stories, and second, also to sort of market the various programs to the world and say India is a great place to come and do business, especially the entrepreneurial business.
चलिए, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अमृत जुड़ने के लिए. हम आपसे और भी आगे लगातार बातचीत करते रहेंगे. और ये सीधी तस्वीरें आप देख रहे हैं इस वक्त प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी और इवांका ट्रंप एक दूसरे से बातचीत करते हुए, चीज़ों को समझते हुए. और एक बार फिर से बात करते हैं स्टूडियो में मौजूद अपने मेहमान जयंत कृष्ण जी से. जयंत जी, इस जो सम्मेलन, आपने कहा कि निजी तौर पर आप ये विचार रखते हैं कि जो बहुत मतलब क्योंकि ये बराबरी का ज़माना है तो कुछ वैसा बहुत ज़्यादा करने की ज़रूरत अलग से नहीं है. लेकिन जैसे कि हम जानते हैं कि इस समिट का ही नाम रखा गया विमेन फर्स्ट, प्रॉस्पेरिटी फॉर ऑल. और हम जानते हैं कि सरकारी स्तर पर बहुत तरह की ऐसी सुविधाएं महिलाओं के लिए ख़ास तौर पर दी जाती हैं. तो ऐसे में भारत में पिछले कुछ दिनों में इन सब चीज़ों का कितना फ़ायदा होता हुआ दिखाई पड़ा है, और आगे का जो रोड मैप है वो उसमें क्या कुछ और करने की ज़रूरत है?
देखिए, अगर आप देखिए जो नए न्यू जनरेशन स्टार्टअप्स हैं, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं, उसमें महिलाएं बहुत आ रही हैं. और मुझे कुछ विपत्ति, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है उससे कि अगर आप कुछ इंसेंटिव विमेन के लिए लाइए. मेरा सिर्फ ये कहने का मतलब था कि ये इशू बहुत फंडामेंटल है और विमेन इनइक्वालिटी है. अगर इन जनरल सोसाइटी में महिलाओं को उनको एक बराबर का नागरिक का ओहदा मिले और वो इस तरह से पुरुषों के साथ कंधा से कंधा मिलाकर आगे चल सकें, तो ये एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में ऑटोमेटिकली हो जाएगा.
बिल्कुल.
हर, चाहे वो एजुकेशन ले लीजिए, हेल्थ केयर ले लीजिए, हर चीज में, अगर न्यूट्रिशन ले लीजिए, स्किल्स ले लीजिए, अगर हर चीज में इक्वालिटी नहीं है तो वो जब इक्वालिटी आप करेंगे तो अपने आप ही वो एक बराबरी का माहौल बनेगा और वो एक ज्यादा हेल्दी क्लाइमेट बनेगी, बजाय कि आप कुछ कैलिपर्स और कुछ इंसेंटिव्स और कुछ ये करें. पर अगर इंसेंटिव्स गवर्नमेंट देती है तो मुझे उसमें कोई आपत्ति नहीं है.
अच्छी आदर्श बात आपने कही कि ये अपने आप होना चाहिए, और जाहिर सी बात है जब ऐसा होगा तो किसी अलग से इंसेंटिव की जरूरत पड़ेगी ही नहीं.
अगर आप आजकल देखिए तो कोई भी जो स्टार्टअप्स की लिस्ट होती है, अगर 50% नहीं भी तो ऑलमोस्ट 30% जो लोग हैं उसमें वो महिलाएं हैं. जो नए जनरेशन, जो इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी लेड स्टार्टअप्स हैं, जो आइडिया लेड स्टार्टअप्स हैं, या कुछ टेक्नोलॉजी लेड, वो उसमें सब में यही आपको हर 2 पुरुषों के बाद एक महिला दिखाई देगी. और काफी ज्यादा तादाद में, जो 15% की जो तादाद दी गई उससे कहीं ज्यादा जो न्यू जनरेशन स्टार्टअप्स हैं उसमें महिलाएं सामने आ रही हैं.
Mr. Krishna, when you look at these visuals that we are seeing on our screens of PM Modi and Ivanka Trump interacting, looking at the exhibition which is all about success stories predominantly from India, what really comes to your mind? Are we going to see this as a platform where different countries learn from each other, India and the US learn from each other? It could well be on skill training as well, because a lot of this is an output of a lot of skill that you are seeing on air. So what comes to your mind when you look at these pictures?
I think if world's largest democracy and the world's most prosperous country, if they are together on in this kind of a summit, the signal that we are sending to the world is very good, and the fact remains that India as a country has a lot to learn from a country like US, where there's more equality, a more better level playing field for all entrepreneurs. There is no red tape. See, things are improving in our country also. If you look at the World Bank, rank of ease of doing business with India, from a 130th position, this year our position has come to 100. I mean, a jump of 30 in a short span of time is no mean achievement. As more and more roadblocks are getting removed by central government and by state governments, I think things are happening. And not only that, you have to look at the global competitiveness index also. जो हमारा in 2015-16, we had a rank of 55 there. This year our rank has come to 40.
Right, Mr. Krishna, hold your thoughts.
Narasimhan, Chief Minister of Telangana, Shri K. Chandrasekhar Rao, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, Honorable Minister for External Affairs, and our Raksha Mantri, Minister of Defense, Srimati Nirmala Sitaraman. Ladies and gentlemen, for centuries, India was the global hub for art, mathematics, metallurgy, astronomy, and biotechnology, leading to discoveries so profound that they are relevant even today. This ancient legacy of innovation is now resurgent and is being further augmented by the ambitions and entrepreneurial energy of 1.3 billion empowered citizens with a love for free enterprise, technology, unmatched skills, and an almost spiritual devotion to industriousness. This unique balance of ancient instincts and changing demographics is what makes India the perfect partner for doing business. Welcome to a land renowned for its immense knowledge, innovation, wisdom, and enterprise. Welcome to a land of great opportunities. Welcome to India. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 8th edition of the Entrepreneurship Summit. In this GES, we are highlighting 4 sectors: health and life sciences, energy and infrastructure, financial technology, media and entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, GES 2017 was preceded by numerous Road to GES events across the world. And here's a glimpse.
Since 2010, the Global Entrepreneurship Summit has traveled across the world. In its 8th year, the GES comes to India, making it the first hosting nation in South Asia.
This is going to be a melting pot of cultures, a confluence point for investors, for entrepreneurs.
India is a proud host to GES 2017 with the theme Women First, Prosperity for All.
This year's Global Entrepreneurship Summit, co-sponsored by the United States, has representatives of 148 countries and over 1,800 entrepreneurs from around the world in a country that truly believes in the power of entrepreneurship.
India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, and its government has fostered an environment where entrepreneurship thrives.
मैं जब कहता हूँ स्टार्टअप इंडिया तो मैं मान के चलता हूँ स्टैंड अप इंडिया। 5 लोगों को भी अगर मैं रोजगार देता हूँ तो मेरा स्टार्टअप मेरे देश को आगे बढ़ाएगा।
Leading up to the GES, Niti Aayog organized over 50 events in different cities of India, partnering with industry bodies,
In this GES,
foundations,
we are
educational
highlighting
institutions,
4 sectors:
and corporates.
health and
The
life
US
sciences,
government too carried out
energy
similar
and
events across the
infrastructure,
world, fostering the
financial
spirit of
technology,
entrepreneurship.
media
Multiple
and
pitching
entertainment.
competitions, panel
Ladies and
discussions,
gentlemen,
and citizen
GES
engagements were held to
2017
promote collaboration
was preceded
and
by
problem solving.
numerous Road to GES events across the world. And here's a glimpse.
Since 2010, the Global Entrepreneurship Summit has traveled across the world. To participate in the prestigious summit, the GES comes to India, making it by connecting the best entrepreneurship minds with investors and startups across the globe.
Melting pot of
We look forward
cultures,
to
a
setting the
confluence
agenda
point
for
for
prosperity,
investors, for
cutting across
entrepreneurs.
nations and communities. India is a proud host to GES Entrepreneurship Summit 2017 with the theme Women First, Prosperity for All.
This year's Global Entrepreneurship Summit, co-sponsored by the United States, has representatives of 148 countries and over 1,800 entrepreneurs from around the world in a country that truly believes in the power of entrepreneurship.
India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, and its government has fostered an environment where entrepreneurship thrives.
मैं जब कहता हूँ स्टार्टअप इंडिया तो मैं मान के चलता हूँ स्टैंड अप इंडिया। 5 लोगों को भी अगर मैं रोजगार देता हूँ तो मेरा स्टार्टअप मेरे देश को आगे बढ़ाएगा।
Leading up to the GES, Niti Aayog organized over 50 events in different cities of India, partnering with industry bodies, foundations, educational institutions, and corporates. The US government too carried out similar events across the world, fostering the spirit of entrepreneurship. Multiple pitching competitions, panel discussions, and citizen engagements were held to promote collaboration and problem solving. Winners from these competitions were given golden tickets to participate in the prestigious summit as delegates. By connecting the best entrepreneurship minds with investors and startups across the globe, we look forward to setting the agenda for prosperity, cutting across nations and communities at the Global Entrepreneurship Summit 2017.
Ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very warm welcome to all the delegates of the Global Entrepreneurship Summit 2017.
The journey of every entrepreneur begins with the dream, unshackling the mind and the spirit with a belief that something more is possible. A belief that gives birth to a million ideas. But it takes just one innovation, one inspiration, an instinct that says, this is it. An idea comes to life, and an entrepreneur is born.
There's no business like show business.
May we now request the Chief Minister of Telangana, Shri K. Chandrasekhar Rao, to deliver the welcome address.
Beloved Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable External Affairs Minister, Srimati Sushma Swaraj ji, Honorable Defence Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji, Srimati Ivanka Trump, Advisor to the President of the United States of America, distinguished dignitaries, participants and guests. I am very happy to personally welcome you to our state of Telangana and to the historic city of Hyderabad. We feel very proud to be hosting one of the most prestigious global events. Hyderabad, a most happening city with vibrant economic activity, is recognized all over the world as a welcoming and most hospitable destination. I am sure that you will experience the Hyderabadi character during the stay here. Telangana is the newest and youngest state of our country. Under the industrial policy promotion, which is called TS-IPAS, it is now mandatory by law that all approvals have to be given within 15 days. The unique feature of this policy is that in case the approval does not come in 15 days, it is deemed to be given. I would like to inform that this policy has actually worked quite admirably on the ground. In the last 3 years, we have given approvals to 5,469 industrial units with a total investment of $17.5 billion and created over 400,000 jobs. All this achievement has happened without the investors requiring to run from pillar to post. Telangana has been ranked as #1 state in the country in ease of doing business rankings brought out by the Government of India and the World Bank jointly. Telangana has now become a favored destination for both international and domestic investors, and you will be pleased to know that Hyderabad has the second largest presence of 5 most valuable companies in the world outside their own headquarters in the USA. These include Apple, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and Amazon. We are also encouraging young entrepreneurs. I am happy to mention that Hyderabad hosts India's largest technology incubator called T-Hub. We have a vibrant startup ecosystem in which the government has played a catalytic role in bringing together the best academic institutions and the corporate sector to nourish and support the brilliant young minds. T-Hub is now recognized as a role model by the National Institute of Transforming India, popularly known as Niti Aayog. I am delighted that we have got such an important platform to showcase our investor-friendly environment. At the same time, we are also keen to learn from the innovative work being done by others all over the world. I trust that the deliberations over the next 2 days in the Global Entrepreneurship Summit will enrich us with new ideas and plans. I once again welcome all of you to our state of Telangana and hope that you would enjoy the legendary hospitality of Hyderabad and relish its signature dish, Hyderabadi biryani. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to introduce you to Mitra, an indigenous robot developed by a young startup from Bengaluru. May we now request the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi and Ms. Ivanka Trump to initiate the logo launch for the Global Entrepreneurship Summit 2017. We request the Prime Minister to kindly press the Indian flag button on the screen.
Welcome Shri Narendra Modi.
May we now request Ms. Ivanka Trump to kindly press the US flag button on the screen. we now request Ms. Ivanka Trump, advisor to the President of the United States of America, to kindly address the gathering.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for all being here and for the incredibly warm welcome. On behalf of the United States and the 150 other countries represented in this room, thank you for hosting the Global Entrepreneurship Summit here in Hyderabad, a city that is quickly emerging as the innovation hub of India. And thank you, Prime Minister Modi, for joining us here today, and for all that you are doing to build India as a thriving economy, a beacon of democracy, and a symbol of hope to the world. What you are achieving here is truly extraordinary. From your childhood selling tea to your election as India's Prime Minister, you've proven that transformational change is possible. And now you are bringing that promise to hundreds of millions of people across your country. Thank you. To the people of India, I want to congratulate you as you celebrate the 70th anniversary of your independence. You are celebrating it as the world's largest democracies and one of the fastest growing economies on earth. Through your own enterprise, entrepreneurship, and hard work, the people of India have lifted more than 130 million citizens out of poverty, a remarkable improvement and one I know will only continue to grow under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. All of you are helping India's middle class reach its goal of nearly 500 million people by 2030. You have opened new universities across the country. Your doctors and scientists are discovering medical cures and life-saving technologies. Your engineers and your architects have built modern wonders that grace your skies. And Indian spacecraft have traveled to the moon and to Mars. The people of India inspire us all. This is the first time India has hosted the Global Entrepreneurship Summit. It is a symbol of the strength and friendship between our two people and the growing economic and security partnership between our two nations. As President Trump said earlier this year, India has a true friend in the White House. I would like to thank the State Department for co-hosting this incredible gathering. I would also like to thank Governor Narendra and all elected Indian officials who are here with us tonight for welcoming us to your beautiful country. Thank you. It's incredible to be in this ancient city brimming with transformative technology. Now, your tech centers may even outshine your world-famous biryani. Maybe. CEOs like Microsoft's Satya Nadella went to school right here in Hyderabad. Just a few kilometers away, T-Hub's brand new facility is set to open next year and will become the largest incubator in Asia. In this city of pearls, the greatest treasure is you, the dreamers, the innovators, entrepreneurs, and leaders who never give up, never abandon your aspirations, and always strive for a better tomorrow. Today, we come together to celebrate what is happening here in India, what is happening in the United States and all over the world. Entrepreneurs are revolutionizing our economies and improving our societies. You are rewriting the rules. You have the inspiration and drive to serve our communities through the projects you start and the businesses you build. You have the grit, the perseverance, and the will to succeed. Each of you started with an idea. You've worked long days and nights to code the next robot, create the next app, find the next cure, and discover the next breakthrough to improve the lives of millions of people. Some may have tried to convince you that the risks are too great, the rewards too small. But you are here today because you are not afraid to fail. You want to own your future. So I want to congratulate you on all that you have already accomplished. And I especially want to congratulate the women entrepreneurs here with us today. Thank you. This year's summit is focused on a theme that is key to our future: women first, prosperity for all. I'm proud to say that for the first time ever, women make up the majority of the 1,500 entrepreneurs selected to attend this summit. I see all of you out there. Only when women are empowered to thrive will our families, our economies, and our societies reach their fullest potential. As a former entrepreneur, employer, and executive in a male-dominated industry, I've seen firsthand that all too often, women must do more than their male counterparts to prove themselves at work, while also disproportionately caring for their families at home. After my father's election, I saw an opportunity to leave my businesses for the privilege of serving our country and empowering all Americans to succeed. Our administration is advancing policies that enable women to pursue their careers and care for their families, policies that improve workforce development and skills training, and policies that lift government barriers and fuel entrepreneurship so that Americans can turn their dreams into their incredible legacies. In the last decade, women have made remarkable strides in starting new businesses. Globally, between 2014 and 2016, entrepreneurship activity amongst women has increased by 10%. In the United States, within the last decade, the number of women-owned firms has grown by 45%. Even more promising, minority women have started nearly 8 in 10 new woman-owned businesses. Today, more than 11 million women in the United States own businesses. They employ nearly 9 million workers and generate over $1 trillion in revenue. Many women become entrepreneurs and job creators out of necessity. Some weren't given the flexibility they needed at work to care for their families. Others lacked professional sponsors or weren't given a fair shot at a promotion. Instead, women, like the many here today, are charting their own courses and achieving incredible feats. Fueling the growth of women-led businesses isn't simply good for society, it's good for our economy. One study estimates that closing the gender entrepreneurship gap worldwide could grow our global GDP by as much as 2%. The woman in this room can lead the way in closing that gap and ushering in a new era of greater prosperity. Yet despite the soaring rate of female entrepreneurs, women still face steep obstacles to starting, owning, and growing their businesses. We must ensure women entrepreneurs have access to capital, access to networks and mentors, and access to equitable laws. In developing countries, 70% of women-owned small and medium-sized businesses are denied access to capital. The result has been a nearly $300 billion annual credit deficit for women entrepreneurs in the developing world. In the United States, a Harvard Business Review report found that investors ask men questions about their potential for gains, whereas they ask women questions about their potential for loss. This could in part explain why women entrepreneurs received less than 3% of venture capital funding in 2016. We are working hard to reverse this trend. The U.S. Small Business Administration, for example, increased lending to women by over $500 million this year alone. When it comes to networks and mentorship, roughly half of women in the United States say they have difficulty finding a mentor. Yet mentorship is critical to success, as each of you knows. Entrepreneurs need professional guidance to help them start and grow their business. In the United States, we are fostering mentorship through programs such as SCORE, a nationwide initiative where successful men and women coach those who want to become their own CEOs. And when it comes to equitable laws, while many developed and developing countries have made tremendous strides, there is still much work to be done. In some countries, women are not allowed to own property, travel freely, or work without the consent of their husbands. In even more countries, the cultural and family pressure is so great that women do not feel the freedom to work outside of the home. Our administration is striving to promote greater opportunity for women around the world, both through our domestic reforms and our international initiatives. This summer at the G20 conference, the United States was a founding member of a bold new initiative with the World Bank, the Women Entrepreneur Finance Initiative, also known as WEFI. This facility provides access to capital, networks, and mentorship for women in developing countries. WEFI is the first facility to support women entrepreneurs at this scale, and we anticipate it will be able to leverage in excess of $1 billion in public and private financing. This facility also seeks to address the legal and regulatory barriers that limit opportunities for women entrepreneurs. In the last decade, USAID has promoted women's entrepreneurship through a number of programs, including providing microfinance loans to women in Afghanistan and bringing internet access to women in Nigeria and Kenya. USAID Administrator Mark Green is here with us today. Where are you, Mark? Thank you, Mark. I want to thank Mark and the entire U.S. delegation for their tireless work to improve the lives of millions, both domestically and abroad. Further, as each and every one of you can attest, this summit is yet another powerful example of a U.S. initiative that connects entrepreneurs around the world with investors who believe in your mission and will champion your success. I want to thank the U.S. business leaders who have traveled all the way to Hyderabad for this inspiring event. I also want to congratulate the more than 350 American entrepreneurs who were selected to be with us here today to represent America's brightest talent. I think I found your section. Thank you. At home, our administration is committed to empowering women entrepreneurs through domestic reforms. In the past 11 months, we have expanded apprenticeship programs and prioritized STEM education to ensure that women and men have more opportunities to master the skills that drive progress in the 21st century. We have dramatically reduced job-crushing regulations, which disproportionately hurt entrepreneurs and small business owners. And we are laser-focused on passing long-overdue tax cuts. This will provide much-needed relief to working families and to businesses of all sizes. Also this year, for the first time ever, the President's budget included a proposal to establish a nationwide program for paid family leave. We are committed to supporting women and men who work both inside and outside of the home. When women work, it creates a unique multiplier effect. women are more likely than men to hire other women, to give them access to capital, mentorship, and networks. Women are also more likely to reinvest their income back into their families and their communities. Here in India, I want to applaud Prime Minister Modi for his firm belief that the progress of humanity is incomplete without the empowerment of women. Just consider, if India closes the labor force gender gap by half, your economy could grow by over $150 billion in the next 3 years. As we kick off this 3-day summit, I encourage everyone here to come together, learn from each other, and find new ways to lift barriers in our society so that women are free to innovate, empowered to succeed, and able to leave our children a brighter future. As we strive for change, we must never forget that the best hope for our future is far greater than any single government policy. The source of our success is found in the spirit, the drive, and the talent of our people. Here with us today from San Francisco is Dara Dotz. Dara spent over a decade working in underserved communities around the world. She witnessed firsthand that many times people need very simple items: a bucket for carrying water, a splint to treat an injury, a part to fix a generator. Dara co-founded Field Ready to provide life-saving supplies through 3D printing. Today, Dara's company responds to disasters all over the world and delivers humanitarian aid with cutting-edge technology. Through her innovative solutions, Dara is saving lives and bringing hope to thousands of communities. Thank you, Dara. Please stand up, Dara. Rajlakshmi Bhartakar joins us from Bangalore, India. When her son began having seizures at a young age, she decided to create her own solution to better monitor his health. Stand up. She invented a smart glove that predicts, manages, and detects different diseases and disorders using artificial intelligence. Now her company, Terra Blue, aims to make specialty healthcare accessible in even the most remote places in India. Rajlakshmi, your courage and determination is truly remarkable. Congratulations. Thank you. Also here with us today is Rayan Karmalova from Azerbaijan. Rayan, please stand up. You all won't believe this, but Rayan is just 15 years old. But that has not stopped her from founding a company that harvests energy from rainwater. Rayan has a powerful motto: light up one house at a time. Rayan, each home you light up is illuminating the world. We are inspired by your brilliance and your hard work. Thank you. These women represent the vision, the ambition, the grit of every entrepreneur here today. You are saving lives, creating jobs, and bringing hope to our communities. You are transforming our societies one business and one customer at a time. You prove to the world that we have the power to rise above the challenges of our day and to pioneer new pathways forward, and to leave our mark on this moment in history. Just think about how much better the world would be if all of us, men and women, are empowered to dream big, aim high, and work together towards a more just and prosperous future. A future where mothers and fathers can work hard to build a better life for their families, where boys and girls can go to school, discover their talents, and pursue their ambitions. and where people of all nations can live and work together in dignity and in peace. This is the future we can, will, and must build together. And this is the promise of the visionaries gathered in this room today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ivanka Trump. May we now request the architect of the new resurgent India, the driver of the entrepreneurial spirit of India, encompassing Make in India, Startup India, and the Digital India initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, join us in welcoming the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi to deliver his inaugural address.
Governor of Telangana, Sri S.L.L. Narasimhan, Advisor to U.S. President, Ms. Ivanka Trump, Chief Minister of Telangana, Sri K. Chandrasekhar Rao, my cabinet colleagues, Sushma ji, Nirmala ji, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are happy to host the 2017 Global Entrepreneurship Summit in partnership with the government of the United States of America. The summit is being held in South Asia for the first time. It brings together leading investors, entrepreneurs, academicians, think tanks, and other stakeholders to propel the global entrepreneurship ecosystem. The event not only connects the Silicon Valley with Hyderabad, but also showcases the close ties between the United States of America and India. It underlines our shared commitment towards encouraging entrepreneurship and innovation. The topics picked for this year's summit include healthcare and life science, digital economy and financial technology, energy and infrastructure, and media and entertainment. These are all important issues relevant to the well-being and prosperity of mankind. The theme, Women First, Prosperity for All, makes this edition of GES stand out. In Indian mythology, woman is an incarnation of Shakti, the goddess of power. We believe women empowerment is vital to our development. Our history has references to women of remarkable talent and determination. Gargi, an ancient philosopher, around the 7th century BC, challenged the male sage to a philosophical discourse, something unheard of this in this time even. Our warrior queens like Rani Ahilyabai Holkar and Rani Lakshmibai fought bravely to defend their kingdoms. Our freedom struggle too is replete with such inspirational instances. Indian women continue to lead in different walks of life. Our space programs, including the Mars Orbiter mission, have had immense contribution from women scientists. Kalpana Chawla and Sunita Williams, both of Indian origin, have been part of US space missions. 3 out of 4 oldest high courts in India are now headed by women judges. Our sportswomen have done the country proud. This very city of Hyderabad is home to Saina Nehwal, PV Sandhu, and Sania Mirza. We have brought laurels to India. In India, we have provided for not less than 1/3 of women representation in rural and urban local bodies, ensuring women's participation in grassroots level decision making. More than 60% of workers in our agriculture and allied sectors are women. Our milk cooperatives in Gujarat and the Sri Mahila Grudyog Lijjat Papad are examples of highly successful and globally acclaimed women-led cooperative movements. Friends, here at the GES, more than 50% delegates are women. Over the next 2 days, you will meet many women who have dared to be different in their own walks of life. They now inspire a new generation of women entrepreneurs. I hope the deliberations in the summit would focus on how women entrepreneurship can be further supported. Ladies and gentlemen, India has been incubator for innovations and entrepreneurship over the ages. The ancient Indian treatise, Charak Samhita, introduced the world to Ayurveda. Yoga is another ancient Indian innovation. The entire world now comes together to celebrate Yoga Day on 21st June every year. Many entrepreneurs are involved in promoting yoga, spirituality, and traditional Ayurvedic products. The digital world we live in today is based on the binary system. The invention of zero, the foundation of this binary system, happened with Aryabhat's birth in India. Similarly, many nuances, a modern day economic policy, taxation system, and public finance policies are outlined in our ancient treatise Arthashastra by Kautilya. Ancient India's expertise in metallurgy and also well known. Our many ports and harbors and the world's oldest dockyard at Lothal bear evidence to vibrant trade linkages. The tales of Indian voyagers traveling to foreign lands reflect the entrepreneurship character and spirit of our forefathers. What are the core qualities that distinguish an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur uses knowledge and skills to fulfill a motive. Entrepreneurs see opportunity in adversity. They try to meet the felt needs by making process more convenient and comfortable for the end user. They are patient and determined. Swami Vivekananda had said, each work had to pass through 3 stages: ridicule, opposition, and then acceptance. Those who think ahead of that time are sure to be misunderstood. Most entrepreneurs would be familiar with this. The power to think differently and ahead of the time for the betterment of mankind is what sets entrepreneurs apart. I see that power in India's young generation today. I see 800 million potential entrepreneurs who can work towards making the world a better place. The number of smartphone users in India is projected to grow to over 500 million by 2018. This offers immense potential for the growth of any venture in terms of outreach and job creation. Our Startup India program is a comprehensive action plan to foster entrepreneurship and promote innovation. It aims to minimize the regulatory burden and provide support to startups. Over 1,200 redundant laws have been scrapped. 87 rules for foreign direct investment have been eased in 21 sectors, and several government processes have been taken online. Our government has taken several steps to improve the business environment. The jump in India's ranking in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business report from 142 to 100 in 3 years is a result of this initiative. We have improved on indicators like dealing with construction permits, getting credit, protecting minority investors, paying taxes, enforcing contracts, and resolving insolvencies. The process is yet not complete. This is an area where we are not satisfied with 100th rank. We would strive towards 50th rank. We have launched the Mudra scheme to provide easy finance of up to 1 billion rupees to entrepreneurs. Since its launch in 2015, over 90 million loans worth 4.28 trillion rupees have been sanctioned. Of these, more than 70 million loans have been sanctioned to women entrepreneurs. My government had launched the Atal Innovation Mission. We are opening tinkering labs in more than 900 schools to promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship among children. Our Mentor India initiative engages leaders to guide and mentor students through these tinkering labs. In addition, 19 incubation centers have been created in various universities and research institutions. This will nurture innovative startup businesses to become scalable and sustainable. We have created Aadhaar, the world's largest biometric-based digital database. This currently covers over 1.15 billion people and digitally process over 40 million transactions daily. We now digitally provide monetary benefits of various government schemes to the beneficiaries through direct benefit transfer using Aadhaar. Almost 300 million bank accounts with deposit of over 685 billion rupees, more than $10 billion have been opened through the Jan Dhan Yojana. This brings previously unbanked section of the society into the formal financial system. Of these, 53% accounts are of women. We are steadily working towards the less cash economy and have launched a unified payment interface app called BEAM. In less than a year, this platform is processing almost 280,000 transactions daily, having almost completed our program to connect all villages with electricity. We have now launched the Saubhagya scheme. This will provide electricity connection to all families by December 2018. We have launched a program to provide high-speed broadband internet to all rural areas by March 2019. Under our clean energy program, in just 3 years, we have doubled the renewables capacity from 30,000 megawatts to about 60,000 megawatts. Solar energy generation has increased over 80% in the last year. We are working on developing a national gas grid. A comprehensive national energy policy is also in the pipeline. Our Swachh Bharat mission to improve sanitation and cleanliness and the rural and urban housing missions underline our commitment toward dignity of life. Our infrastructure and connectivity programs like Sagar Mala and Bharat Mala offer entrepreneurs many business opportunities for investment. Our recent World Food India initiative help us engage with entrepreneurs in the food processing industry and agriculture-based sectors. My government understands that an environment of transparent policies and a rule of law providing a level playing field are necessary for entrepreneurship to flourish. A historic overhaul of the taxation system has been recently undertaken, bringing in the goods and services tax across the country. Our insolvency and bankruptcy code, introduced in 2016, is a step towards ensuring timely resolution for stressed ventures. We have recently improved this further, preventing willful defaulters from bidding for stressed assets. Tough measures have been adopted to tackle the parallel economy, check tax evasion, and control black money. Our efforts have been recognized by Moody's recent upgrade of India's government bond ratings. This upgrade comes after gap of almost 14 years. India has improved from its rank from 54 in 2014 to 35 in 2016 on the World Bank Logistic Performance Index. This signifies the relative ease and efficiency with each product can be moved into and from a country. An investment-friendly environment needs to be stable from the macroeconomic perspective. We have succeeded in containing the fiscal and current account deficits and curbing inflation. Our foreign reserves have crossed $400 billion, and we continue to attract large foreign capital flows. To my young entrepreneur friends from India, I would like to say, each of you has something valuable to contribute towards creating a new India by 2022. You are vehicles of change and instruments of India's transformation. To my entrepreneur friends from across the globe, I would like to say, come, make in India, invest in India, for India and for the world. I invite each one of you to become a partner in India's growth story. And once again, I assure you of our wholehearted support. I'm informed that President Trump had declared November 27, 2017 as National Entrepreneurship Month. America has also observed National Entrepreneurs Day on November 21st. This summit will certainly resonate with those themes. Let me conclude by wishing you fruitful, engaging, and rewarding deliberations at this summit. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister of India, for your inspirational address. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have amongst us a distinguished stateswoman. May I now request our Minister of External Affairs, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Namaskar. Good evening. Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, Advisor to US President and my dear friend, Ms. Ivanka Trump, Chief Minister of Telangana, Shri K. Chandrasekhar Rao, my esteemed colleague, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, distinguished dignitaries and enthusiastic participants. I am delighted to have this opportunity to participate in the inaugural session of the Global Entrepreneurship Summit 2017 and propose a vote of thanks on behalf of the Government of India. Friends, India is a land of entrepreneurs, and the US is a nation that is identified with the spirit of enterprise. The relations between our two countries have developed into a strategic partnership of global significance. It is therefore eminently appropriate that our two countries have come together to co-host this Global Entrepreneurship Summit. The focus of this summit is on women entrepreneurship. Women entrepreneurs are epitome of courage and leadership. Therefore, empowerment of women is a priority for India and should be a priority for the entire world. Prime Minister Modi quoted from Swami Vivekananda. I'm again quoting Swami Vivekananda. I quote, "There is no chance for the welfare of the world unless the condition of woman is improved. It is not possible for a bird to fly on only one wing." I would like to thank Prime Minister Modi for his leadership and guidance, as well as for outlining his vision to this global audience. Under his leadership, our government has embarked upon ambitious programs for empowerment of women and promotion of entrepreneurship and skill development in India. We seek to do this not only for our 1.25 billion strong population, but also for our partners in line with our mantra of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, that means together we shall prosper. I would like to thank Ms. Ivanka Trump, who is a co-host of this summit. She represents the energy and spirit of an entrepreneur that characterizes the youth of today. She is a passionate advocate of education and empowerment of women and girls. Her keen interest in these issues has helped shape the agenda for this summit. I'm sure her presence will inspire women entrepreneurs from India and across the world. We appreciate the efforts of Government of the United States and its leadership in promoting entrepreneurship globally. We deeply value the strong desire of President Trump to further strengthen partnership with India, which we fully share. I have no doubt that under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi and President Trump, India-US relations will scale new heights and contribute to global peace and prosperity. I would like to express our deep gratitude to the government and people of Telangana for hosting this summit. Hyderabad embodies the spirit of entrepreneurship. It is also, I am Chinnamma of Telangana. Therefore, I can very proudly say that it is also a perfect mix of traditionalism and modernism. Friends, this summit would not have been possible without the meticulous organization by Niti Aayog. Therefore, my special thanks to Shri Rajiv Kumar, the Vice Chairman, Shri Amitabh Kant, CEO, and the entire team of Niti Aayog for successfully organizing this event. Now I would like to thank all the participants of this summit. This summit is primarily for you and will be a success if it is able to meet your expectations. We have worked hard to ensure that your experience is substantive and productive. Our special appreciation is for our foreign participants who have traveled long distances to be present here. We would like you to go back with pleasant memories and new partnerships. Last but not the least, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to all the officials and volunteers from India and the United States who have worked hard for months to make this summit happen, and the results are there for everyone to see. Friends, we have begun the summit with a spectacular opening, and I wish you productive deliberations over the next 2 days. Once again, my sincere thanks to all those who have assembled here. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. With this, we conclude the inaugural session of GES 2017. Please remain seated while the Honorable Prime Minister departs. Ladies and gentlemen, we now start with the opening plenary session. Be the Change, Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, Please welcome John Chambers, Executive Chairman of Cisco.
Good evening. It's truly great for me to be back in a country that I love. A country that has moved from being a slow follower to a fast innovator on a global scale. Today's panel is really about how do we bring to life what the Prime Minister and what Ms. Trump talked about earlier in terms of a vision for how we can change the US, change India, and change the world. When I originally got asked to speak on this topic, I got very excited. And I said, my topic's going to be about startups. I know how we do this, and I know how we do it well. And then I realized how far India has come. How far India has come in the last 3 years when I was honored to be probably the biggest bull about India's future. And how in the most recent publications, India is projected to grow year over year by over 10% GDP growth for the next decade. The vision of your Prime Minister is truly coming true. And from the US perspective, we see the US for the first time in a decade at the strongest economic growth quarter over quarter that we've seen. You see job creation going very well. And so it would be so easy to say, let's just continue to do what we are and not have the courage to change. But the courage to change when you have an opportunity in front of you is the most important thing you can do. I originally thought startups would be the indication of future economic growth and employment. I was wrong. Gender equality can have the most economic benefit for the future of all the countries in this room. The math is amazing. The McKinsey report that I saw said $12 trillion by 2025. That's almost the economy of the US. And it said this would be divided, if you looked at the countries, between India at 700 billion, you look at the US at 3 trillion, Europe at 2 trillion, Africa and the Middle East at 1 trillion. And it is, if we do this right, when you think about great basic GDP growth, GDP is nothing more than additions to the labor force, about capital investment and innovation. I think this is a chance to make history. I think it's not a chance to have a good discussion on how we can change gender equality, but really it's an inflection point for changing it around the world. And that's really what this topic is about today. Just to give you some numbers though, Ms. Trump referred to a couple of these earlier. Basically, when you look at the investment in startups, only 1/3 of the women capability in terms of getting venture capital and angel investment compared to their male counterparts gets approved. When a woman starts a business, you're talking about only about 1/3 of the capital to half the capital that a male counterpart would do for the same business. And the numbers are abysmal in terms of where we are, even though we're showing growth. Only 19% of the companies around the world over $1 million in sales have women entrepreneurs at the leadership role for it. So I really think this is a chance to dream together, a chance to say what is really possible for the future, a chance to have courage to change and to challenge each other. And at the end of the night, we're going to ask you, each of you, to say, what can you do different in this next year to not make incremental improvement, but make this an inflection point that Prime Minister Modi referred to earlier. I have an amazing panel with me today. I want to first invite Marcus Wellenberg to come up and join me. Marcus, for those of you who know him, comes out of Sweden. He's the chairman of one of the top banks in Europe, the Nordic countries. The Nordic countries have been the most advanced in terms of gender participation at the board level, etc. He has a good feel for where is the European market, and a lot of the changes that they have, he knows where we need to go. So Marcus, if you're back there, please come and join me. The second person to join me is a person that I know and care about very greatly. She basically has been a great friend for many, many years. And Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, she, when I first met her, was WTO negotiator. She is a tough negotiator, but she also knows how to make things happen. As literally the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, she was responsible for Prime Minister Modi's programs to really drive through Startup India and manufacture in India. She has an ability to instill confidence. She has an ability to bring people together, and now is one of the 5 top women defense ministers around the world. Madam Minister, if you please come and join us as well. The next individual is the person that we talked about earlier, and I want to tell you a little bit more human side about Ms. Ivanka Trump. When I talked to her on the phone about this panel, she literally was teaching me what was possible, how to make changes. She's not only a world-renowned business leader, she honestly cares so much about making a difference. She's a mother, she's a TV personality, she's a fashion designer, she's been successful in many of the challenges in her life. But this is an area that she leads by example in, not just in her words, but also in her actions. So Ms. Trump, would you please join us? And finally, representing the Africa, Middle East area is an individual I did not know before tonight, but I honestly feel like I've now known her for a very long time. She is a leader, the first black leader of an aviation company, a petroleum company in South Africa. As a young lady, she had the imagination of wanting to do this. She had no fear in achieving goals that others would hesitate about and not be able to perhaps achieve. And yet when she had the chance, she turned it completely around. Please join me in welcoming Sibonile G. Lee Salmabo. Please. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, John.
This will be fun.
Thank you.
I'm going to switch you right here if I could. Thank you. Please. Gotcha. So if I may start off with you, Ms. Trump, you watch what is occurring in the world. You have a passion for this. It'd be so easy with the economy of the U.S. going well, the tax reforms changing, et cetera, not to have the courage to make this change. Why is the administration doing this? Why is it so important to you personally? And let me also ask a double question. What advice would you have for the young women entrepreneurs in the audience in terms of kind of lessons learned? Because you've come through a male-dominated world and done remarkably well. What would be your thoughts on both topics?
Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you, John. Can you hear me? Hello? Better? Hello? Thank you, John, and thank you for all that you've done to inspire so many entrepreneurs, men, female alike, and for participating in... Hello?
Testing on the mic, please.
Hello? Thank you. And for participating in this dynamic panel. We appreciate it. I was so excited to come here to Hyderabad, this center of innovation, and to have the opportunity to meet with so many entrepreneurs from all over the world who are deeply inspired by their own individual mission. And that to me is one of the most incredible things. And ultimately, now in this role in government that I'm so privileged to have, that's my desire, to create an opportunity for more people to have the advantages that I've been so fortunate to have. I talked about the unique challenges that face female entrepreneurs, the lack of adequate access to capital, to networks, to mentorship, and in some countries to equitable laws. These are challenges we can solve for by talking about the problems, by working together, by combining the thought leadership of those in the private sector and here in this room today with smart government policy that enables all of our country's citizens to thrive. So I am incredibly optimistic 11 months into my time in the Trump administration. I see firsthand and how we're creating a climate to fuel the growth of business, to reduce barriers to new entrepreneurs who are thinking about whether or not they're going to engage. So you asked earlier about my advice. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. I think too often there's a myth that everyone who started a business was 100% sure and had 100% belief that that business would succeed. It's not true. Many people started businesses on the side while continuing their primary job until they got the confidence that it was going to work. Many waited for several years. Many pivoted out of their existing business into another. Many failed to come back again. So to those aspiring entrepreneurs who are in this audience today and are wondering if you have what it takes, if you are deeply passionate about the company you want to start, if you're deeply passionate about your vision to create change and to create a product or service that will better the world, just go do it. Just go do it. No time like the present.
Minister Sitaranam, you have an amazing record in your country here in India of women being successful in politics, in business, and the arts. What is the magic here? If you look at your Security Council, 2 of the 4 of you are women. You look at many of your political leaders throughout the country and many of your business leaders, they are also women. Today at the T-Hub at IIT University, we saw 35 of the startups going on, over 40% of them are women. What is the takeaway for many of us in this audience about what India is doing different and the generation of female leaders that you all have been able to develop and continue to develop?
Well, I like to believe that that trait in the Indian women has always been there. But only in the last 60 years, because of the model of development that India had adopted, socialist. Only in the last 60 years, because of the model of development that India had adopted, there wasn't much of a chance for India to support or facilitate women who naturally had the instinct. And when I say entrepreneurial, it is not just doing business, but also getting into education, getting into that which is going to be a social catalyst, that kind of a work which women were very good at doing. The Prime Minister in his speech referred to the cooperative movement, which has been largely women-driven. So if you look at it, even while writing the Constitution of India, there were 15 women, and some of them coming from very, very deprived, socially denied sections. I'll take the name of one particular lady who's been a part of these 15 women, Dakshayani Velayudan. Came from a Dalit. The word Dalit is now global, you'll know about it. Came from a Dalit community, but rose to become a part of this large team of people who gave India its constitution. So it is possible. Only now the focus is very clearly to bring all women on board, whether they are going to be scientists. In fact, the Mars mission, the rocket which India launches, is dominated by a woman scientist, Tessie Thomas.
Yes.
So it is possible in India, but of course, because education access has not been very widely available, a lot of emphasis by the government is now being given to send all girls to school, give them the necessary facilities, ensure that they go into higher studies, and so on. The momentum which is being given by Prime Minister Modi for small loans to be given for women, because in India, I can say this from my own experience, when you want to start a business as a woman, and if you approach a bank, the first thing that you have to provide is security for the loan that you're taking. And because women belong to a part of a family, in the sense either the father has to support, or if they're married, the husband has to support, on their own, many of them did not even keep some property. So it became the first necessary thing for a woman, and today, by law, and particularly the Mudra scheme, which the Prime Minister has launched, it has said, in fact, the Prime Minister, in one of his speeches said, I am the guarantor for every woman who wants that loan without a guarantee. So, out-of-box thinking has helped to empower women, but we have a long way to go.
But it's very possible.
It is.
And achievable.
Achievable.
And it's not a dream.
Not at all.
We can do it together.
Yes, but of course, effort is needed by everybody.
Agreed. Ms. Samba, you had a vision watching planes fly over when you were a young person about someday being in aviation. You had the courage to, when the Empowerment Acts occurred in South Africa, to go for it. You are the first 100% owned female entrepreneurship in aviation. In my notes said in South Africa, I'm not sure, but what in the world? What are some of the lessons learned? Was it what you thought, being a female going into a male-dominated world? How did you adjust your leadership style, or did you, in terms of what was expected? And how could you teach many of us in the audience, not just the females, but us males that need to learn as well, what it was like for you in making these changes?
Thank you, John, and good afternoon, everybody. For me, starting an aviation company started with a passion. I'm a human resources practitioner by profession, and one day I decided that, you know, I want to follow my dreams. I want to find what lies within me and pursue that. So I decided that I am going to leave the corporate world, start my own aviation company, and thrive. Little did I know that everything comes with a package, that it is not smooth sailing to be an entrepreneur. However, it is possible when you persevere and you have a vision and you look at the end of the road at what you want to achieve. There's been so many hurdles in getting and thriving in aviation industry. One of them is access to finance. You might be sitting there and asking yourself, who funded this young lady to own a private jet company and helicopters in South Africa, in the African continent? It was during December time when I got my first order from government to do my flight from Johannesburg to Bujumbura. I had no finance at all, and I ran to finance institutions to go and ask for finance. But many doors closed because they said, one, aviation is a risky industry, and secondly, I didn't have collateral at all, you know, to service the debt that I was looking for. But I didn't say, you know what, I'm not getting any help at the moment. I just decided to find alternatives. I called my mother, who had retired in South Africa, but who was working as a nurse in London, and said, Mommy, I have resigned. But here's the good news. I've got an opportunity to thrive as an entrepreneur. How can you help me? You know, she had to leave London, where she was working as a nurse, to come and give me her pension money so that I start this business. And she also, thank you. And she also talked to her sister, who had also retired, to borrow me her funds so that I could start this aviation business. My advice to the new and aspiring entrepreneurs is that when you are determined and when you have a vision and when you have a plan, don't let it die because of the challenges that you meet. Instead, find alternative solutions, because there is always a solution. Sometimes it might take longer than planned, but at the end of the day, when you persevere, you will be able to thrive and win. Thank you.
Thank you. You're amazing, young lady. All very proud of you and your courage. Marcus, Scandinavia, the Nordic countries have often led in the gender diversity. You're on 9 different boards. You led one board as chairman that you had a female CEO for 12 years. What causes the Nordics to be so progressive? What are some of the lessons learned? And a little bit your thoughts about mentoring top women entrepreneurs and how you go about it.
Well, you know, as you said, I come from a different part of the world where the diversity question has been very much up front for a long, long time.
Yes.
For many reasons. I mean, it's an egalitarian society at heart, but I would also say that it also comes from the need for our population to be participating in the work life. And we all know that the wealth of a nation and the standard of living is actually very much dependent how big a percentage of your population that actually has the possibility to work. So this has been, for many reasons, a very important question for Sweden to have women participating in life of business. On top of that, they've been actually, in the last few years, a tremendous push for entrepreneurship in our part of the world. I'm happy to say that a lot of those who are doing that today are women. And I would say that I participate in several mentor programs, and for those of us who've been running corporations, we know how tough it is to be running something. You're pretty much alone. You maybe don't have a board. You really need somebody to talk to completely openly, and
Yes.
even if you have a board. And it doesn't matter really if you're a woman or a man from that perspective, but I think it's very, very important that you support the mentor thought for everybody who's doing entrepreneurship. On top of that, of course, we all know that in many cases, it's a bigger job, a bigger sacrifice for a woman to start up. When, coming from a different mode, very often having a family responsibility at the same time. So in the case of women entrepreneurs, it's very often, at least my experience from where I come from, even more important to have a mentorship and to really support that. So in fact, I'm going tomorrow to Helsinki with a group of entrepreneurs where the sole purpose is to bring them together with their mentors to see another of these great things we're seeing today, which is a tech entrepreneurship in Finland. And I would say that you have to remember, I'm just thinking about your discussion about the difficulty to find risk capital. This is typically a thing that a mentor can help you with. To support, open up the doors, give them support, having the experience, and then really making it work.
Agreed. I'll come back to a couple of those questions if we have time as well. Ms. Trump, when you look at the future of the U.S. and the world, technology, every company is going to become a technology company. And it doesn't matter if you're in retail or fashions or in government. How important is it that our education system evolve? And how important is it that we really focus on our women entrepreneurs, really giving them the education in technology and STEM? And what do you think we need to do better, both as a country, our home country, and around the world in this area?
Thank you, John. Well, I think it's tremendously important. Historically, women have been greatly underrepresented in STEM fields. And you note that now technology is not confined to one sphere.
Yes.
Technology is disrupting every industry and reinventing every industry. So every industry is a technology industry. And I view computer science, digital literacy as really foundational to success across so many industries, especially when you look at the future of where work is headed. So as part of our commitment to ensuring skills training and ensuring we continue to have an incredible and competitive workforce, we've been very, very focused on prioritizing STEM education, starting in our schools K through 12, and with a particular focus on making sure that the programs are designed with gender and racial diversity in mind. So when you look at a field like computer science, for example, women represent 47% of the American workforce, yet make up only 21% of computer science professionals.
Yes.
So what's very concerning when you look at where the jobs of the future are going to be increasingly headed, and you look at the low representation of women in this very critical field, and this is true of all STEM fields, engineering, we represent 13% of engineers. So you look at the work of the future, if we continue not to take our fair share, if we continue to be underrepresented in these high growth areas, in these lucrative fields of the future, I worry that the fourth industrial revolution will not only lead to us remaining stagnant in terms of closing this persistent gender wage gap, but I worry we'll actually start to make negative progress and lose a lot of the gains that we've made
agree.
in recent decades. So I think it's critically important, and that's why President Trump rolled out just a few months ago a presidential memorandum that told the Department of Education to prioritize STEM education and committed $200 million, a minimum of $200 million annually towards that goal. And it could be much more in grant funding. So we're very focused on that. And then beyond K through 12, we're very focused on workforce development and worker retraining to ensure that every American, regardless of age, has an opportunity to participate in the economy and get the skills training they need if they're in an industry where their jobs have been displaced, or in an area of the country geographically where they've lost opportunity, that they have the opportunity to re-enter the workforce. So really the combination of K through 12 STEM and computer science focus, and then workforce development, apprenticeship models, which have been very, very successful in places across the world, notably Germany and Switzerland, are areas that we're very, very focused on as an administration. In addition to technical education, because as you know, coming from Cisco, the needs are not just of a four-year college graduate. So many of the great STEM jobs that are open and available today require no or minimum post-secondary education. So I think it's a tremendous opportunity in our country, and we're looking forward to filling those vacant jobs and making sure that the next generation has the skills that will enable them to succeed in the modern economy.
Completely agree. And what you're beginning to see is you have to not solve this with one or two variables. You have to do 7 or 8 things well at the same time. Madam Minister, before you were Defense Minister, you really implemented Prime Minister Modi's startup concepts and how you do a startup ecosystem, as well as how you do stand-up in terms of the women leadership. If the majority of the jobs in this country, but also around the world, are going to be generated entirely through startups, because the large companies, Marcus, you and I were talking, are not going to add jobs in total over this next decade. Some will increase, some will decrease. What were the lessons learned in both roles in terms of what the audience could learn about what we've done right in India, and what you think the challenges are to carry over this to it being a largely startup-generated gender equality as we move forward?
It's interesting that you raised this point. Soon as this new government under Prime Minister Modi was formed, the Prime Minister's emphasis was, we have to encourage the young entrepreneurs. And the Startup Action Plan, about which he referred in his speech too, was launched. And not just launched the action plan, but we kept our ear close to the ground. And as and when startups kept telling us that there had to be more and more changes, more tweaking to the action plan itself, we were ready for the changes. Normally, governments do take some time to change, but given the nature with which, or the temperament with which Prime Minister Modi works, he wanted quick results, he wanted to move ahead and be responsive. So the action plan was kept actually real time. So we kept changing in response to the changes that came, because inherently we believe that governments can no longer generate jobs on their own as much as you want. It can still probably give some jobs, but it cannot generate as much as you would want, one. And second, people also, particularly in India, were no longer looking up to the government for providing jobs. They thought they had the capacity, the skill sets, to start a business and provide more jobs for others in their neighborhood or among their acquaintances. So it was very clear that that spirit of entrepreneurship had to be kept up, and solutions which are going to be local, at the same time which could be scaled up, were all to be encouraged. It wasn't possible for Delhi or for the state headquarters to decide and give solutions for everything that the people need. So we had to be rapid in moving, and we thought it made sense, therefore, to have people coming up with solutions, and in the course also creating jobs, churning the economy, keeping it far more vibrant. So that was the justification, and in that I must appreciate again the guidance we received from the Prime Minister when we went to Germany We spoke with Angela Merkel's government, and I'm very glad that the Chancellor was ready for it.
Yes.
She said, I'll give global exposure opportunities for Indian startups to interact with startups in Germany, and therefore we could have an exchange program worked out. Similarly, when Prime Minister went to Israel, which you have very clearly recognized that a lot of startup business happens there, we made
Tied
sure...
to the defense industry.
And in the defense industry. I would definitely come over to that because now I'm handling defense.
Yes.
So Israel too came up with a lot of opportunities for our startups to go see what is the environment in which they were doing it all so that they could replicate or mutually benefit by any kind of linkages that they can have. Even as I talk now, we've finalized December 4th as the date when I will be working with the Chambers of Commerce and the startups. A huge list has been made to ensure that I interact with them to see about women's participation and about how they can help in the defense ministry's production and procurement process. Because Indian startups have made and are continuing to make very big contribution for defense industry, both in India and abroad. We want to make sure that we leverage that opportunity that we have. And on the 4th of December, I am sitting with a lot of these industry leaders and the Chambers of Commerce to ensure that the startups are given equal playing field opportunities when tenders are given out by the government, asking for people to supply. Startups have a problem because till now the rules were such that unless they had existed in the field for more than a certain number of years, they couldn't even qualify. Unless they had a certain number of amount of turnover, they couldn't even qualify. We are removing all these kind of rules which restrict the startups. And therefore, I feel startups do have a very big opportunity in entering into defense industry, helping India to procure, and also probably export. So that's one thing. And the last thing about Prime Minister's approach again on stand-up. How is it different? How are women entrepreneurs going to be helped with it? India has more than 600 districts. And in each one of the districts, there is at least one commercial bank, a scheduled bank available. Prime Minister's desire it was to tell these banks that in every one of the districts, which is 600 or more now, at least one woman should be given money to start her business as a startup entrepreneur, so that innovation at district levels also are recognized, funded, and scaled up. So it is not going to be just a Bangalore, Hyderabad, phenomena. It is going to be across the board, everywhere in the country, in the districts. So there, the women business is happening. One other last thing I would like to say, Indian startups, particularly women-related entrepreneurs, small and medium industries, again with women potential exporters, I had worked up a plan with the International Trade Council, which is a part of the World Bank.
Yes.
UN organization. The head currently is a lady called Aranza Gonzalez. She's doing a lot of work about bringing together all the women entrepreneurs who are in trading business, in the sense who would want to export globally. And her effort, I wanted to get over to India to make all Indian women entrepreneurs and exporters to come together to search for a global market. So there are provisions, there are platforms through which we can have greater women entrepreneurship being facilitated and promoted. We are at it. We will do it for India. And I'm sure South Africa's experience, United States experience, Swedish experience will all come of help.
You know, what's fascinating is France has moved from the last nation in Europe you'd invest in and not even involved in startups with very little venture capital investment in 2 years to number one. And one of the most basic things they did, they stated as a national goal. They then opened up all of their government to startups and said it's okay for some of these to fail. And then they went to their large businesses and said, you must be a part of this transition. So I think it's lessons learned that we can all apply. One of the most important things, and I talk to probably 40 different startup sessions per month, is the lessons learned about not successes, which everybody wants to write about, but the challenges you faced and how you overcame them. I became a better leader because of a terrible time in 2001 when I went from being viewed as one of the best CEOs in the world to could I run my company during the dot-com bust. I probably developed more as a leader, and our company became a much stronger company because of our setbacks. If I could ask you to share with this audience and entrepreneurs how you overcame not just your successes, because everybody will write about those, but how did you handle the setbacks? And especially for the women entrepreneurs, you will never be a great leader until you get knocked down and you get back up. Could you share your experiences with the audience on that?
Yes, thank you, John. You know, challenges, they come and challenges, they go. It is how fast and how you react to those challenges that determines your success. When we started this aviation business, we didn't realize that aerospace and aviation is a highly regulated environment. I'm sure those who come from the USA would know that the FAA is very strict, and our Civil Aviation Authority in South Africa conforms to EASA and also the FAA. So you can imagine that those regulations are very stringent. At some point in the company, we didn't manage to renew our licenses because the challenge was that you need to do at least one flight to exercise the rights of your licenses. And at that time, we didn't have enough access to aeroplanes, to infrastructure, to capital, and a whole lot of things that are required to run a successful aviation company. And I remember one day when one of the auditors from the Civil Aviation Authority came to our offices, just took our licenses from the wall and said, "You're no longer allowed to operate." You know, it was such a huge setback for us as a company because now we couldn't, you know, generate income. Now we couldn't, you know, see through our vision. But as a leader, I needed to communicate to the staff, you know, our vision. I needed to be strong and confident so that the employees could follow me. And I didn't just stop there. I managed to go back, find partnerships, which is very important. You cannot run an organization on your own and expect to run a successful business. You need partnerships. And in aviation, you need partnerships globally, not only in your country. So that's what we went back. We took stock of what was happening in the company and managed to get partnerships, revived our licenses, and managed to get back and operate. Now we are based at Lanseria International Airport, and I can assure you that we fly our customers safely all over the world. Thank you.
Thank you. I started off by saying this could be an historic moment. It could be another conference where we talk about gradual improvement, or it could be one where we recognize, with all the changes going on around the world, from technology to leadership in common countries to the ability to make dreams come true, how much a difference we could make. As you leave tonight, I'd like for each of you to think what you can do to make a difference this next year. And I'm going to ask for each of the participants to share with the audience a call to action. Very often people don't care because nobody they admire asks them to care. Very often they don't do something because they think they cannot make a difference. Or third, if they do something, they won't see the results. And I'll commit to us that next year at GES, wherever it is in the world, we will share the results on the gender diversity equality that we've done. Marcus, what would be your call to action to the people in this room?
I guess I stick to my gun. So I'll say that if I should challenge the participants here with one thing for next year, is that I really believe that entrepreneurs do really benefit from the support of an individual, a mentor, or somebody who's just helping out. So if I should ask for something from all of you here, is to make a goal to help one entrepreneur during the coming year to really support and make them good.
Madam Minister, your thoughts, the challenge for the people in the room, your call to action.
I think the push has to come from women themselves, irrespective of the field in which they are. But at the same time, for every male and female entrepreneur, there should be a conscious attempt to help one more. And that itself will get a lot of women out. I think women's skills are underestimated by women themselves. They should come out and knock at every opportunity, knock at every door. There are opportunities, and only a sensitive government will have to be responding to it. Today in India, the environment prevails. Globally too, we can see a lot of interest. So women should come forward, and that itself is a major, big step.
Thank you. Mrs. Sambo, your thoughts. What would be the call to action for the people in this room that you would like to challenge them on?
Okay, thank you, John. I would like to challenge first my sisters from Africa. Can I ask all of you to stand? Let them see you. We didn't come all this way to waste time. We came here to network and to do business. You can see them, they are so colorful. So please find partners here. I want to challenge each and every one of you here that make a difference in your businesses, in your corporation, in your corporates, and make sure that you mentor every young girl and young boy. I'm a mother of 2 boys, so I will not encourage only mentoring girls, but also mentoring young boys, because those are our leaders as well. Thank you very much.
Ms. Trump, would you bring us home? Challenge the group, and don't hesitate to really push us, especially the men.
First of all, John, thank you. And I do want to say, not only have you moderated this panel beautifully, but you have inspired so many entrepreneurs, and we're grateful to have you here, and thank you for your tremendous contribution to the ecosystem of entrepreneurship in the United States, in India, and all over the world. In terms of my call to action, I'll echo what was just said about mentorship, because it's so critical and it's something that each of us can do. So our governments should help us lower barriers, create a climate that enables us to be competitive, regulatory relief, tax reform, all the things we discussed, access to capital. But each one of us can find in our communities, in our neighborhoods, another person who could benefit from our knowledge, and who we could give knowledge to them, but they can also provide tremendous insight to us as well. One of the things I've really been impacted by wherever I go, whether it's throughout America or anywhere in the world, is the fact that most people will say that the guidance they got, the professional wisdom that somebody imparted upon them, was more valuable to them than even capital in the earliest days, because they avoided major pitfalls. And this is particularly challenging for women because there are less natural mentors. There's a smaller ecosystem of women, which is why the men in the room need to create opportunities for their female peers and create sponsorship opportunities, create networking and mentorship opportunities for them as well. So we can start to build that out and grow it. But mentorship really, I've come to believe, is so core. And I look at my own personal experience, and so much of what I was able to do was based on the advice and the feedback I got from the very intelligent people I would ask very basic questions of, and especially in the earliest days of my starting out in business and starting my own business. So that is something that I will ask each of you to do. I will try to do this as well, and we appreciate your being here. I'm deeply inspired by the number of countries represented, by the diversity we have here today, by the gender equality that is present in this room of innovators. And I look forward to a great summit. So thank you to our hosts.
Thank you very much. Last question. I want to see a show of hands. How many of you are in to make this change? Let's do it together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chambers, for the engaging session. Thank you all. We welcome you once again, ladies and gentlemen, to GES 2017. We wish you a fruitful, inspiring, and productive summit. Thank you.